Hello and welcome to Esports Africa News. King Louie, as you popularly known, so introduce yourself so you can tell us more about what you do rather than me trying to say what you do because you know yourself better than me. So let's go on with that.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Atsu. My name is Louie Whyte, Jonah, and I'm the lead of GameVerse Africa, and I'm also a UX designer. So I run GameVerse Africa. What we do at GameVerse Africa is simply game education in underserved regions, because we noticed that there are lots of people, or there are people who wants to go into the video games industry, basically, but they don't really understand it, right? There are people who have interest, there are people who wants to build, there are people who are building, but still can't really find their way, right? So we built GameVerse Africa simply to solve that problem. And what we simply do is game education, because we realize that for people to go in, they need that education first. So what we do is underserved game education in underserved regions. We build, we host workshops, we host trainings, we do events in different cities. So far, we've done in about 12 cities in Nigeria, south, southeast, also some places in northern Nigeria. And that's what we do basically at GameVerse Africa. We build ecosystems. We also have a game studio called Six Pass Studio. And what we do at Six Pass Studio is basically to build games, right? We've built over 7 titles, games, all mobile games, because we actually focus more on the mobile games, right? So that's what we do at GameVerse Africa, basically to build games and all of that. And we have an event arm called the Video Games Expo Nigeria, which what we do with Video Games Expo is an exposition of games where we invite gamers, game developers, game creators that are not, because Lagos is already there, right? Lagos is there. A whole lot is happening in Lagos, but there are lots of persons who can really travel down to Lagos. So for every, should I say, major event or every opportunity I need to travel down to Lagos. Most persons don't really have, should I say, time or resources to move down to Lagos at every single point in time, right? So hence we decided to create Video Games Expo Nigeria, which is an expo that is being held in Port Harcourt. So what we do at Game Expo Nigeria, we invite people from other cities that mostly can't really go to Lagos. But apart from going to Lagos, but other people who are building from this side of the world, right? From south, from the southeast, and also from northern Nigeria too. And then we bring them together. Okay, this is what is happening. This is our ecosystem. Let's build it. Let's see what you're building. Show us what you're building. There is game showcase. There is also tournaments and all of that. So Video Games Expo is that particular conference which pulls everybody back together in this particular region for us to cohabit and basically do what we do right in the video games Nigeria. So that's also like a major push in the video game space. Then of recent we launched EAN. So what is EAN? EAN is basically a discovery platform for video games and the likes, right? So it's built for people in the creative tech industry. So you're talking about video games, you're talking about XR, you're talking about animations, all of these things. We realize that when we meet, I personally realize that when you meet, number one, it's difficult for you to meet people who are building in this particular space, right? I got to find out that there was a very short, funny story. I went out one of the evenings to take a stroll like I normally do, and I went to get something from just across my street, and I saw somebody. I started talking with him. I realized that this guy had a brother who has been building games for a very long time. And fun fact, his game has over 150,000 active players. And he's actually in my city. He stays on my street. And I did not know. I've never seen his game. I've never heard his game. And he's spending so much money trying to like keep up his servers so that the players can keep playing, and he's not making money from it. And there's a whole lot happening, right? And so these are like one of the problems I've seen firsthand in the ecosystem. When we traveled to northern Nigeria for our video games workshop, we saw developers there, we saw creators there, but most of them don't even have these opportunities to showcase what they are building to the rest of the world, right? So instead, we built EAN. So what is EAN? EAN is simply a platform where you can discover people who work in the video games. Yes, talents, basically, talents. So as long as you're a talent in the creative tech space, focused more on video games, XR, and the likes, the creative tech, that's where you go to. So Eden acts as a portfolio for talents to come and showcase, hey, I'm building this is what I'm building, this is my profile. So it's not like, because the issue with general random platforms like LinkedIn and the rest of them, it's scattered, right? You can't find all of these talents in a particular space, right? And then if you go to other platforms that have most of these games, you can't really, it's difficult for you to tailor people who are in a particular region, right? So Eden is that particular platform that when you go to, you see talent, you search on talent, you see talent, you can search by region, you see their portfolio, what they are building, and if they have a project, or if they built a game or worked on a particular project, you can actually see the project they've worked on. So for studios who wants to showcase their games, who wants to tell everybody about their games, because most times if you go to tech Twitter, as it's being called, you realize that people don't even know that Nigerians are building awesome games, right? So there is this awareness problem where you can't really get all studios, should I say studios that are actively building, except you're in the video games industry. That's when you can know that, okay, for me now in the video games industry, I know that, okay, fine, there are about more than 20 studios that are active in Nigeria, because I am in the ecosystem, right? So how about people who are not in the ecosystem, who wants to know? Because everybody knows how many tech products are there, how many fintech products are there. If you want to search for that, you can actually search and then know, but there are no platforms, so Eden solves all of that problem. Studios can get listed, talents can get listed. You can also list your games there. So a publisher or whatnot, or whoever who wants to see, okay, what's happening, can go there, can go to Eden, go through the games, and then see again, okay, I like this project, I want to reach out to this project. There is actually like features, you can chat with the person, you can reach out to the person. So that was why we built Eden. So we recently launched version 1 of Eden, and we are still actively building, still pushing it out there, and then still trying to like make it better for other talents and other studios to come on board, and then we can scale from there. So yeah, that's basically what I'm
interesting.
doing.
That's interesting. So I was looking through my Nigerian map. Anyway, I didn't introduce myself in my Nigerian context. So my name is Chinedu Kanu. That is my name. Really? So right now, you call me Chinedu. When we're talking Nigeria, we talk Chinedu Kano. That's my name. Anyway, so I was trying to look at the map, and I was trying to see where Port Harcourt was, because obviously my only experience is Lagos. I was trying to see where Port Harcourt was, and Lagos, it's quite a distance. And then when you talk about the south, north, southeast, I can now understand virtually where this geographic problem may be. So yeah, that sounds interesting. So you've mentioned 4 things here. I'll start with the Video Games Expo. Has it happened already?
For this year, no, it has not. So we are still planning, right? And then we are going to release, announce our date. May. We are going to announce our dates. We've already started preparing all of those things. So we'll announce our dates May, and then it's going to still happen in Port Harcourt. Right, and a lot is being done. For last year's edition, it was a 4 days conference. It was a 4 days conference. The final, which was the final day, the grand finale, which was on the last day, on the Saturday, we had everybody come together. We had tournaments, we had game showcases, we had talks from people who are building in the ecosystems, right? And it was awesome. So for this year, we're also going to release much details about it in the coming weeks.
These tournaments you had at the Game Expo, are they African games or a mixture of both African games and the normal other games that we play?
A mixture of African games and both normal games. So we recently had, there was an event about 2-3 weeks ago in the city of Umuahia in Abia. And then the tournaments we had in that particular city were games that were built by us. So we also... were games that were built by us. We did not use any of the popular esports games like Call of Duty, FIFA, and the like. So all the games that were used as for the esports tournament were all built by us. So for this year, we want to incorporate Nigerian-made games. And similar thing is also happening. On Saturday in Enugu, there's going to be a game event where there's going to be play testing of African-made games, and also prize pool, like esports tournaments of African-made games, right? So that's going to be in Enugu on Saturday. So for this year's Game Expo, we are going to incorporate more of African games, right? But we all know that the popular titles like Call of Duty, PUBG, FIFA, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and the likes we have there's like thousands of community. It has like thousands of people in that community. So we also use that we also have those titles in this year's Video Games Expo.
That's interesting. So you delivered Abia and you delivered Enugu. Is that what you guys have delivered? Or
yeah. So because I actually I'm based in Port Harcourt most of the times because I don't have a lot. So we have like a community. I created like a community of game developers, game studios, and people who are stakeholders in the south and east, right? Okay. So most times I do get information, then I just send it to them. So it's actually tiring trying to like send to individuals. So I just create everybody and put them in particular group.
The group. Oh, yeah.
Information like that. Yeah. When there's an information, we get to showcase, okay, this person wants to do this. Let's all come together and let's see how we can push.
A community event. No, that's interesting. I'd like to hear more about the ABI tournament and the Enugu tournament, about African games, which African games they are they fighting games, what is the prospect, and maybe we'll move from the video game side, but I'd like to understand, like your friend you met, how they are able to build their service, how they're able to manage their service, because one of the things that I am trying to talk more about are the economics of esports and gaming, to see how best Africans can learn from each other and probably make it more profitable than just spending money there. So that would be great to talk to you about maybe offline or much more about it on another platform so that we can understand how we can make African games more successful. Then the other one we'd like to talk about is your discovery platform, EAN. There's absolutely tons of talent in Africa, let alone Nigeria. So how are you finding it when you built it? Have you got more people signing up, and how up? So there are two parts of it: the people who have signed up and the people who are recruiting people from the sign up. How are you finding it? No, you're muted. Sorry, you're muted.
Sorry. All right. Sorry. So for now, right, we are more focused on getting people, talent on board first, right? Before reaching out to publishers, before reaching out to people who are A-game players so that they can come onto the platform, right? So how we've been able to reach out to them is through the communities that we have, right? So of recent, there are some studios which I personally have to onboard myself, because I have to take them through the process of onboarding and all of that, right? But the platform is a very seamless platform. It's like a very simple step where you can just go like 4 or 5 steps and you're done onboarding. So what we've been doing of recent is reaching out to communities. This is already existing, right? They actually know about it. So get on board, and then we can push from there. We have talents there. There are several talents that are currently there, right? We have also some studios that are there. We have games that have already been uploading. Even this morning, we had some people that actually onboarded. So every single day, we are reaching out to more persons, and hence we want to use the should I call it the opportunities of we want to use events to get more persons. Right, and then there are ads. There are different ways for us to reach out to different talents. Right, so we are just utilizing everything,
including partner with Esports Africa News to promote all those talents. Because we are the only media company that promotes everything from Africa. I know we're not doing a lot in games. That's why I'm keenly interested in these games. But we are lacking in strength. Not that we don't do it, we're lacking in strength. So if anyone can help us talk a lot more about African studios, African game developers, everything associated with African games, we'll be happy to engage them and be with them on the journey with that. So how do we find EAN? Is there an app? Is there a website? How do we find it?
Okay. EAN is there is a link to it, EAN.io, EAN with a double N, EDE. EAN.io. So that's all. It's that simple as that. So when you go to EAN.io, you're going to there is just an onboarding part. You can go through the list of talents. You can go through. EAN is not just that. So this is just the first version. We have some other things which we are building into it, right? We have a marketplace which is being designed and built already, but we've not added it to to what we have ongoing. And then we have the actual job placement where people can go and then list, okay, if you're looking for a 3D artist and the likes, you can just go to EAN and then you get listed, and then EAN will sort it out and then will send you somebody who fits that. Yes, and then all of these things get to happen on EAN. So we have like 3 versions, but for now, what we just have that is available to the public, it's for talent to be discovered and studios and all of that to be discovered, connect and all of that.
That's great.
So
that's great.
To go to EAN.io. Yeah.
That's great. Now we'll put that on the text as well. That's great. Then we'll talk about the studio. The game studio that you've got. What's the name again?
Oh, it's called 6 Part Studios.
6 Part.
6 Part.
Oh, okay, 6 Parts. Okay, 6 Parts Studio.
Yeah, 6 Part.
Yeah, I know. When I heard 6 Part, I had a different thought. But yeah, okay. So, what is the studio? In for? What is the idea behind having a studio?
Okay, so for me, I'm a product person. Before moving fully into the video games ecosystem, I've been designing and building products myself. And I've designed some fintech products. I've designed edtech. I've built edtechs. So I've been a product person. And then moving into the video games ecosystem, creating these things is not enough, right? Creating an awareness is not enough. People also need proof of what you can do. They want proof of, okay, this is what is really happening, right? And since I came from a product person, we decided to create a studio because we have ideas, we have a lot of things that is ongoing. So we needed to build games, right? And yes, we created a studio. And the studio is active. One of our recent projects was Sabi Driver, which was a project.
I've seen that one.
Sabi Driver. It was a project it was actually a campaign, right? For people, especially in Lagos, because if you've been to Lagos, you know how Lagos is very crowded and there is a whole lot happening in Lagos. Everything just moving super fast, right? And then there is this campaign that they wanted to educate people in Lagos, especially drivers, because Lagos there is this Lagos drivers are mad. That's like how
that's the conception,
yeah. So they wanted to educate Lagos drivers on road signs and all of those things, right? So the campaign brought about the idea to be the game, and then they were reached out. ISEC Nigeria and Extreme Media, they reached out to us to be the game, and then we worked together to build this particular game. So the game is a very simple game, right? But it had over 200,000 plays. 200,000 plays. And it's quite, we did a whole lot in that game. So this is like one of the things that one of the reasons why we have a studio, not just talking about games, not just telling people about events, about games, opportunities in games, career paths in game, but when they've come to understand that, okay, fine, this is really happening, the video games industry is worth this much, okay, how do I make money from it? Gaming is one, right? Playing games is one, right? But for people who are development core, right, they can actually build games, and that's what we are doing. And we have about 7 titles. We built about 7 titles.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's basically what we do with 6 Parts Studio.
So would you say Sabi Driver is the most popular one of your 7 titles?
Sabi Driver, Sabi Driver has gotten like the highest place so far for us. But one of our biggest titles was Lieutenant Ahmed. We did a whole lot with Lieutenant Ahmed. We had to like bring it down to build the game, right? There are 2 projects which we are working currently on, and then we are going to release them before Video Games Expo Nigeria. And we hope to release a trailer or a demo, a playable test before Lagos Games Week for one of them.
Lagos Games Week is just next month. I mean, June, early June. It's
it's
that's
June.
Interesting.
It's June. So we are working on that at the moment.
That's interesting. That's interesting for that. Okay, so I see that you've got your hands in every pie. Then we'll come to GameVerse, which is the education parts, which you sort of provide training and education for people in the area. Can you talk us through that, please?
Okay, so GameVerse is like everything we do, we put under GameVerse Africa, right? Because it's our parent brand, and most people know us for GameVerse, not really other things, right?
Yeah,
And
that's what I've known you for.
yeah, GameVerse is like our parents, our core, right? And GameVerse is 4 years. March made it our 4 year, like we got like 4 years anniversary, and that was March. And we've been doing things on the low, but I think one of the issues we've had over time has been PR. But to an extent, we don't really like care about PR. The only time we care about PR is when we want to like we are looking for like support and the likes. But mostly, right, there are people who have gotten should I say, jobs from GameVerse Africa, right? We have people who were like, so the game industry is this big, right? The gaming that there's like money being made in the video games industry, because regular tech spaces or regular tech stacks most of those places are saturated, right? People are looking for other means to other things to do, right? And most people don't even know that they can actually play a game and make money from it, right? Talking about the playing side. So GameVerse Africa, we are fronting it every single day. Currently, there is no major tech event that will happen in South that we are not going to be represented. I actually spoke at Enugu Tech Festival, which is like one of the biggest tech events in Enugu. It has like over 20,000 attendees.
I'll be honest with you, personally, and maybe I'll put America on the line as well. I have no idea, unless it's happening in Lagos.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
There's this lady, Miracle from Oyo, who used to give me updates from Oyo. Apart from that, I don't know anything else happening outside Lagos. So this is news to me.
Yeah, there was Enugu Tech Fest has like sometimes the last one they did last year was about 25,000 attendees, right? So while all of these things are happening, myself as GameVerse Africa lead, I make sure that I go there to represent the video games industry. And when I go there, I don't talk about any other thing. I talk about video games. And people are like surprised. Most are like, "Oh, this is what is happening in the video games industry. This is what is happening. This is that. There's a gaming part. There's careers. If you want to go into different careers." So when we go there and then we talk about most of these things, right? People are surprised and they are really interested, right? And then you find out that there are lots of persons who actually building from like in their homes, and then they don't really know how to go into it. They reach out to us, how do we do this, how do we do this, and that's how it is, right? So GameVerse Africa, we major mostly in game education, not just our own events, not just our own workshop, but we make sure we partner with other communities, other tech communities, other tech brands, and see how we can like pull up to get the awareness out there about the video games industry, what is really happening in the creative economy. So that's basically what we do.
That's really interesting. So have we had GameVerse 2026 already?
GameVerse 2026.
Yeah. Any of your major projects?
No. We've not. So for the first 4 months of this year, we've just been actively building and watching. So I think from next week we are going to start dropping content of what we've been working on.
Video Games Expo and then GameVerse, right? That's interesting. I'll be on the lookout again to see what's happening in Port Harcourt, Enugu, Abia, anywhere outside Lagos.
There are actually very beautiful games that are actually Port Harcourt built, and they've not been demoed in Lagos yet, right?
So how come we don't know about it? How can we wait? So are they wanting people to know about it? Because I'm surprised that we don't know about it. Are they wanting people to know about it? Because we have been trying to reach out to people, and sometimes if we don't know, you've got to let us know that look, these guys are there.
Exactly what we are trying to do. Exactly what I'm trying to do, right? So I think few of them would demo in Lagos Games Week this year, because that's where like most people know. 18th to 19th June. Yeah, 18 to 19 June. So even this particular, this recent one we went to at Abia State, I was the one that reached out to them. They reached out to me. I was like, okay, fine, don't worry, I'm not coming alone. So I went with about 4 studios, and I went with 4 or 5 studios, and also a lady who owns the founders of Females Gamers Network, Sophia. Also talk about what she's doing. So for now, I think if there is any major thing that needs to be done, I make sure that everybody's aware, and then we can all go together collectively and then see how we can come out and tell everybody, because it's not enough as an individual without funding to get the information out there. Even for me personally, there are most times I have to like reach out to Oscar in Lagos, and I'll be like, okay, what is happening, and this is what's happening. So Oscar would need to, even if I spend my entire day on LinkedIn on the news going through it's not enough. So you need that person to. We
need to talk. We need to talk, and we need to try and get ourselves, into it. That's interesting. I really don't know much about anything outside Lagos, so that is interesting for me.